Does it feel like when accomplishing those huge goals, you seem to be able to figure it out? But when it comes to the smaller daily activity required to build the life that you actually want, you seem to get caught up? That's because we tend to live reactively in the small things in our life, and we put together incredible plans for the large things. And without a clear path to what we want our daily life to look like, we inevitably will always spend our energy on something bigger and larger. The 365 formula is a way for you to be able to create proactive steps in a small way on a daily basis that creates fundamental and profound change in your life on a regular basis. It's time for you to utilize the 365 formula. Welcome to the Rocky Garza Show, where we explore the collision of a deeply meaningful life and a wildly impactful career. I'm your host, Rocky Garza, and with over a decade of experience as a coach, consultant, and keynote speaker to many Fortune 500 companies, I'm here to share personal stories and expert advice to help you gain clarity, build confidence, and discover that you too can build the life you actually want. Whether you're a high achiever looking for a more full life or a leader striving for professional success with purpose, this podcast was designed with you in mind. Welcome to the Rocky Garza Show. I am so glad that you are with us for another episode. As always, if you have not yet, please make sure and go to rockygarza.com/beyond success. Again, that's rockygarza.com/beyond success. So you can check out what are we currently doing, what are we up to, and how can we best support you? And you're able to see what is the next free event we are doing that we would love to have you at. Today, we're talking about the 365 formula. And again, just to share that with you again, we're talking about the 365 formula. Now, the 365 formula was created as a mechanism for you as a high achiever, someone who is able to look at your day, you're able to look at sort of forecasting quarter over quarter, where are the big places we want to go, what are the big things we want to do. The 365 formula was created to really allow us to come back into ourselves so that we had the ability to be able to say, all right, I know that I can have this big quarterly goal with my company, bam, we crushed it. We can create a great revenue goal and we can see strategic growth and we have all of our KPIs laid out so we're measuring things appropriately. But when it comes to taking care of yourself, when it comes to your ability to recognize what it is that you need as an individual, I find over and over and over again with folks just like you, what happens is that we give all of our energy to these massive projects and we find ourselves living reactively when it comes to ourselves. I was having a conversation 3 days ago. I was at an event speaking at a very industry-specific conference for commercial cleaners. I was talking to an individual, all right? He's 41 years old. He's got a business. They do just over $20 million a year. They've grown consistently. They're venturing into new markets. And all intents purposes, you look at it and you go, I guess my guy has got it dialed in. They got a company that's less than 10 years old. They're doing 20 plus million. And we had an incredible conversation because he said verbatim, I feel like I know the right steps to take to see the really big goal accomplished. But where I struggle is with the ability to set my day-to-day up in order to make sure that I'm maximizing my time, effort, and energy with the things that I love most. Business being one of those, but marriage being one, family being one. He's got children that are 3 kids. They're all under the age of 10. He says, in business, I feel like I can play with house money to make strategic moves in order for us to grow because we've created an incredible foundation. Yet in life, I struggle to know what to choose appropriately and correctly in order to make sure I'm maximizing myself as an individual to build the life I really want. And that's exactly why we created the 365 formula. It was designed to give you, the high achiever, the ability to create proactive daily steps to remind you about what is most valuable and important to you and prevent us from consistently looking for the next mountaintop and rather find success in the everyday, or the way that we say it, to find success in the valley. If you have not listened to our previous episode, make sure and go back and listen to that, redefining the landscape of success, because we're going to reference that a lot in here as well. And go back to last week's episode, that work-life balance is a lie. And I want you to reference that because I want us to make sure that we are seeing the common thread that's being woven together here in the Beyond Success system. But most importantly, what I want us to do is I want you to be able to recognize in yourself, how do we come back to the practicality of the daily in order to remind ourselves about that consistently over time is where we want to go. So let me break down the 365 formula for you. The 365 was created on this basis, that there are 3 things we are committed to doing 6 days a week within the first 5 minutes of waking up. And now we're going to break down each of those 3 components for you here in just a moment. But just again, quickly, that is the 365 formula represents the 3 things that need to get done within the first 6 days a week within the first 5 minutes of waking up. And really, here's the thought and the idea behind the 365 formula. It's that we want to create 3 simple things, 3 very practical, proactive steps. We're looking for simple, we're looking for quality over quantity. We don't need a 15-step morning routine that you can get done in your first 8 hours of the day, all right? We're looking for here, what are 3 qualitative, simple items that you can proactively choose on a regular basis in order for you to remind yourself that you are in fact living the life that you desire. Now, we're going to go on a quick tangent here, but it's 100% related. The reason we see this as so valuable is because often, in fact, we find ourselves succumbing to what we refer to as the snooze effect. All right. And the snooze effect is a play on words here, but it's also a very tactical thing that I think you can look at for yourself. See, the snooze effect is, in fact, hitting the snooze button in the morning when you wake up. You got that alarm set for 5:30, you hit the snooze. If you're on an iPhone, you got that 9-minute roll, and then you got 5:39. It's going to hit, you're going to tap that bad boy one more time. That gets you to 5:48, close enough to 5:45. You then realize, wait a second, I'm still up in the 5s. I'm in the 5 a.m. club. I hit snooze twice. I'm going to be okay. Now, here's my problem with that. Is that the first 2 decisions that you made today, you told yourself that you are not the kind of person that does what you say you're going to do. Now, you can argue and fight, you can tell me that I'm being melodramatic, but the reality is that our cognitive function, our ability mentally to lead forward in the day to how our actions will follow suit is directly aligned. The reason we call it the snooze effect is because my number 1 question to you is, are you hitting the snooze button in the morning? Are you setting an alarm to wake yourself up unnecessarily because you want to feel good about the first alarm, but then you lie to yourself for 30 minutes and then you get up later on down the time? The reason I'm asking you that question is because I find almost always that when we are hitting the snooze button in the morning, we are also hitting snooze at various things in our life. And so my question to you is, where are you hitting the snooze button? Where's the snooze effect taking control of your life? Where is the snooze effect causing you to hesitate, to pause? You're not quite sure. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. You're doing it and then you don't. Where are you struggling with the snooze effect? See, the reason we do the 365, 3 simple things, is because one of those things potentially for you needs to be to eliminate the snooze button. The proactive thing you're going to do is you're going to get up when your alarm goes off. I don't care what time it is. Some of you need to get up in the 5s because you're very much morning people. Some of you don't need to get up until the 7s. I don't actually care when you get up. What I care about is you choosing to do the things you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do them. A greater reflection of your capacity to grow a business and to be an effective leader is, do you do what you say you're going to do? Not, no matter what the cost, I will always find a way to react and get it done. See, problem solving is a phrase that has been used again and again and again because we find people who have the ability to fix it once it's broken. My question to you is, would you rather be a person who wants to fix it once it's broken, or could you be the kind of person that recognizes that we're going to solve it before it occurs? I have nothing wrong with being a problem solver. I think it's a great, great quality to have. But where in your life are you waiting to be a problem solver rather than attempting to be a person who recognizes the problem before it occurs? 365, 3 simple things you can do as soon as you wake up. The 6, we say 6 days a week. Why is that? Go back a few episodes. We do 6 days a week because we believe in being a human. I have worked with leaders at the highest level, at the highest revenue levels in organizations, and I am telling you, a consistent factor of the greatest leaders, the greatest individuals that I have met, have one thing that they do almost better than everybody else in their world, and that is that they have the capacity to see, know, and recognize grace for themselves. They have the ability to see, know, and recognize that there's an opportunity to extend grace to themselves. We do 6 days a week because you are human, because kids get sick, because occasionally you sleep in, because sometimes the day doesn't go the way that you want, because there are mornings, in fact, where laying in bed with your partner and not getting up to be productive is actually the thing that you need in order to reinstill the kind of purpose and passion in your relationships that you're looking for. You see what we're doing here? I'm encouraging you, and I find it with top leaders over and over and over again. Being consistent and being disciplined is not having a streak that is unbreakable. It is maintaining consistency over a very long period of time, regardless of what happens to your streak. 6 days a week, and we do that on purpose because I want you to remind yourself that you're a human. If you happen to go 7 days a week straight for 3 weeks, great. I'm not telling you that you should purposefully take a day off if it doesn't fit into what you're doing. I'm saying recognize that the purpose of the framework is for us to be able to hit the 3-6-5. 3 simple things as soon as you wake up 6 days a week, because we want to make sure that you are a human. And we say within the first 5 minutes of waking up, because that is the most important 5 minutes of your day. What you are committed to doing in the first 5 minutes of you waking up will almost always dictate the way your day is going to go as it relates to what it is that you can control. See, so often we are allowing the state of our day to be determined by what everybody else says they are doing or we are doing or what we need to do, rather than what it is we've committed to say we're going to do that is within our actual control. The state of your day is not reflective of the emails you got. It's reflective of the way you responded to them. The state of your day is not reflective on whether or not the project did or didn't get finished. By the way, the one you weren't doing, the one you delegated to somebody else and you're paying them in order to do so that you don't have to be free to actually make the 1 to 3 key decisions every week. See, your day is being built and predicated on what everybody else is doing rather than what it is that you have control of yourself. The 3-6-5 formula allows us to come back to ourselves 3 things 6 days a week within the first 5 minutes of waking up, so that we're setting a precedent for what we can control. That way, when you get to the office and you get that email that feels out of your control and you're not sure what's happening and you're not sure what to do, and maybe you do need to problem solve now that a problem has arose, you realize that you have the capacity to be proactive in your response because, well, you started your day that way. Many of you right now have a routine that you have done for decades. And you are finding that that routine got you to where you were, but it will not get you to where you want to be. I was on a call last week with one of our VIP clients, private owner of a services company, does just over $40 million a year. He said, I don't understand why I have never stayed at home to work out and to get ready and to be at home until my children are off to school so I can be with them. I've always just gotten up and gone to the office early because that's just what I do. And I said, how is that serving you? He said, it's not. I said, tell me about that. He said, why would I not wake up at my same time? Because I get up no matter what. He doesn't have an alarm. He just wakes up. He's at that age. He said, why would I not go into the workout room that we created for our family? Why would I not meditate, exercise, get dressed, be ready? And my family wakes up, be sitting at the counter with a cup of coffee to hang out and chat with my wife and eat breakfast with my kids before they head to school. I said, it's a great question. Why would you not do that? He said, because I've never been proactive in what I actually wanted. I've always reacted to make sure that whatever was broken got fixed. My question to you, are you living every day believing you are successful because you are doing what needs to get done to fix what is broken, as opposed to living a life you actually want that is beyond success because you are choosing to do what it is that you want to do proactively rather than simply waiting to be a professional problem solver? The 3-6-5 formula might just be the gateway for you to be able to change your life. 3 things that you are committed to doing 6 days a week within the first 5 minutes of waking up, because we want to choose to be proactive. We want our life to be one of proactivity. And so my challenge for you is select those 3 things, commit to 6 days a week, give it a 30-day runway, do it within the first 5 minutes of waking up, and let me know the impact it has on your life and how you may in fact be changing your days because you were willing to change the first 5 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, please make sure and go to rockygarza.com/beyond success. There you can check out what we have going on, what's happening, and our next event that we'd love to have you at. Again, that's rockygarza.com/beyond success. Talk to you soon, and let's keep going.